This is really heartbreaking. There was a woman who was trapped between a subway and the rail, and she begs for bystanders not to call the ambulance because she can't afford it. There was bone exposed through her thigh. She became stuck in a gap between the train. This took place in Massachusetts. The surveillance video from the Massachusetts Bay Transport Authority Transit Police Department showed passengers rocking the train back and forth to free her. Suffering a deep laceration, the unidentified 45-year-old woman's leg was left twisted and bloody, according to the Globe reporter Maria Kramer. An awful scene on the orange line. A woman's leg got stuck in the gap between the train and the platform. It was twisted and bloody. Skin came off. She's in agony and weeping. Just as upsetting, she begged no one to call an ambulance. It's $3,000, she wailed. I can't afford that. When we covered this story, when we were discussing it in our production meeting, it was very, it was like pretty much silent, because it's how dire the healthcare system is in this country, how broken the system is. And reading this through, there isn't footage, perhaps it's for the best. It sounds like a dystopian future.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like, it doesn't sound like a world that we should be living in as the leaders of the free world. You know, how has this gotten so bad?
Healthcare should not be a privilege for just the select few who can afford it. We shouldn't be weighing our physical pain, our bones sticking out of our bodies, because of, if we pay for it, it'll ruin our quality of life after that. I mean, it's something terrible that we've been worrying about, and we shouldn't be. We should be supporting Medicare for all. We should be following through with this, and I don't think it's that radical of an idea anymore, because people are getting on board. I mean, Bernie Sanders introduced Medicare for all legislation in 2013, and now then he couldn't find anyone to support him. Now he has 16 people supporting him, because the people need it, and the people say they need it, and they believe in this idea. And I think if we keep our voices up, maybe things like this don't have to happen anymore, but for now they are, and it's a travesty.
Yeah, we have to question where our tax dollars go. We really need accountability, because a lot of people question, I don't want to pay for people who don't want to work. I don't want to pay, I don't want to be responsible. Well, you're responsible for freeways that never get fixed. You know, you are paying, your taxpayers' dollars goes to things where funds are misappropriated all the time. And you never know when you're going to be on the other side of the table and you're going to need that help. And that's what we need to think about. People get all nervous when the socialism conversation happens, but let's think about this practically. Like, this is something that should be a right for everybody, just like your education. We pay for so many things that we never get to see come to fruition. We should invest our money in something that makes sense.
And this is a bipartisan issue. Wherever you fall in the political spectrum, I think that we can agree that the healthcare system in this country is awful. It's absolutely broken, and it needs to be reformed. And I hate when it is thrown on like it's a political pawn, and we see that more and more. You know what I mean? Where
we all get sick, we all get hurt, we all get old, we're all gonna die. They're acting like it doesn't happen to some people.
Precisely. No affiliation with the political party is going to save your life when it comes when you have cancer.
You're going to really own the libs when you die of cancer because you can't afford the medication.
And what would happen to this woman if, like, do you guys think reading Kim got jokes?
I'm making faces off camera. I'm sorry.
Kim got jokes, and they're very good. But what would happen to this woman if, like, no, the ambulance didn't come? Like, what would happen to her? What if I think about that, because, like, yes, it's depressing and sad and upsetting and very just infuriating that she was saying, hey, don't call the ambulance because I can't afford it. I've been in situations with people not as dire as that, but have totally did without something that was very necessary for that particular. I just can't afford it. So if she would have stayed there and died or bled to death, or what would have happened to her? If the ambulance did come after all. Yes, paramedics did show up. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
She had to have surgery.
Police said emergency medical personnel bandaged the wound, which would require surgery, and took her to the hospital.
So she would, if that wouldn't have happened, she would have just died.
I mean, the thing is having a group of people, I do trust that, like, in that situation, I trust in our humanity to do what is best for someone who, I mean, who's suffering so obviously.
Sure.
This is kind of a weird segue. So you guys know I grew up in Belgium, so healthcare, free, good. Other things that are not great with what's going on with the Belgian government, but when it comes to healthcare, no complaints. And I played basketball very seriously growing up, so I had a lot of injuries, a whole bunch of injuries, and I was in and out of the hospital with my ankles and knees and all that stuff. When I came to the United States, I was also playing basketball. I had a really bad injury at some point when I recently moved in college, and without thinking, because it was a really, really awful sprain, I couldn't put any weight on it, I was like, oh, well, we'll call the ambulance because I was really in a lot of pain. Ambulance comes, I don't really think anything of it. We go to the hospital, sort it out. It was just a really, like, it was maybe something got a little torn, I can't remember, but there it goes. My mom calls me afterward and she's like, in the future, now that you're in the United States, you never call an ambulance now that you're here, because it's not like Belgium, it's not free, and like this was a hit for our family. And having that like cold, and that's just for like an ankle injury. So
I mean, we have these rules like don't call an ambulance, don't go to the emergency room because it's going to be very expensive.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.